All right, so Zoom and distance learning. You're going to be in that application for an extended period of time. If so, set you up with a couple little things which will allow you to be a bit more comfortable in terms of the space and trying to manage all your different windows and your tabs, everything going through Zoom at once, and more readily, easily finding where things are and conducting that online class. So first and foremost, we're here in our Zoom application. You'll notice this cog over here on the right, which will allow you to get into your general settings. Make sure you do not have this full screen ticked. We don't want to have to always go into full screen, hit escape and come out. Because whether you're a teacher or a participant, there's going to be something in the background, be it your notes or your content or taking attendance, these sorts of things. Being in full screen is not where we want to be generally for that. If you do not already automatically join a meeting with your video, obviously you need to for participation and approaches to learning purposes. Right here, I'm in a meeting right now, so it doesn't give me the option, but there's a little down caret that you click on. It'll allow you to join with your video automatically. Good, so this is my standard Zoom, sort of the application. I'm already in a meeting. There are two windows that are open for that, and on my Mac I'm going to go with a Command-Guion, which is this little key right here. It's in a couple different places depending on which Mac you have, and that allows me to go between the two. On your PC it should be Alt-Tab, and I will confirm in the video over here on my right in a second with a graphic. So this is important. If you are a teacher and you're using channels, which we all should be, let's go back with that exact same Command-Guion. Click on this and make sure you have this copy invite link when starting a meeting ticked. So when you do start your meeting, automatically the direct invite to that meeting is in your invisible clipboard, and then what you can do is you just start your meeting, you come back, you have a chat associated with that channel, you open that one up. I'm not going to open it now because it's got names and information, but then you just go to that chat and hit on your Mac your Command V, or on your PC your Control V, and it will put that direct link to that meeting. Because the people who are getting it are already in your channel, they don't need an additional password or anything like that. They just click on it and they go straight to the waiting room. So that is equally accessible with your Command-Guion. Cool. So now I am in my meeting. I'm looking here with my Mac like I always am. I'm the host right here, as I would be as a teacher. Over here to my right is my participant paying attention with an iPad with this weird profile view, but it works. So super quick, you're familiar with this, but I'll show you a little aspect which there's some advantages to both of these options. So when you're in this and you got your participants and you got your teacher, I'm currently in speaker view. This iPad thinks it's picking up on stuff because the audio is going through both. If I click on my gallery view, it will show me as many participants as I can see at once. I prefer the gallery view, especially as a teacher, because I'm really concerned about seeing where my students are and their sort of face and reaction, normal teaching classroom environment. So I'm going to share over here with this iPad. I'm just going to click on the whiteboard business. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like if you are a participant and someone shares with you, which is generally the case as a student. Stuff pops up. Now what I'm going to show you is, I'm going to get rid of this and I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. So I'm now currently in gallery view. If I'm in speaker view, it looks a little something like this. If I'm in gallery view, it looks something like this. For you guys, depending on what kind of learner you are, if you're a student, sometimes it's probably best just to be looking at your teacher because you can get quite distracted by your classmates and these sorts of things. Sometimes, because we need to hear you as students, everybody's unmuted. And if somebody, does something like that, now they are the speaker. What you can do, let's assume Berta Bell here is the teacher. If you click on these three dots right here, I can pin that video. So even if somebody else asks a good question or inadvertently drops something, it's not going to change who I see. I've literally pinned my teacher. I can go back to this right here. I can click on that and there should be an unpin video. It's much more obvious even when there's like 10, 15 plus people in there what that pin video does. Now, right now I'm a participant and someone else is sharing content. Let's say I'm more concerned about seeing the other people in the class. If I click on these two lines right here, I can decrease the size of this as much as I need to. Sometimes you can get by perfectly well with a very small image of the content. For a lot of you, you're already looking at that in some other window, right? You've got your Chrome open and that's there. So you're looking at this while your teacher's talking, you might be toggling back and forth. I'll show you how to do that in a second. So let's say you open that up as much as you need, but for whatever reason, they're talking, it's a full page and they're talking about like the third line and it's like 11 font and you don't have access to that. Click on your view options and you can increase this as much as you want. If I put something over here, it might make it a little more obvious. There we go. Now, if I go 50%, it's pretty small. But this 50% in any other one of these, if I need to increase this, it'll run it over. I generally leave it on fit to window and I generally leave this on gallery view. Those are my preferred preferences with that. Now, other things which are important are your chat and your participants. This is a nice little setup. This is like my default. I come over here and I pop this out and I come over here equally because now I don't need this and I pop that out. If I'm working a secondary monitor, which I am, I will take both of these items and put them over here. It's really right here. I got 3 monitors. And so I can look at my chat and my participants over here. If I'm only working the one, I will still drag this, as you can see, way over here on the right. I can see a hand pop up if I need to. See what that looks like. Maybe not right now. I get out, here we go. So I got a hand pop up for Bertabel, and equally if I go to the chat function, which is right over here, I'll see whatever. I won't be able to see it all, obviously. But I can see that somebody's chatted something, and then I can, if I need to drag it over, I can drag it over. So working with that small window space and just trying to maximize your priorities in terms of what you're looking at and you want your audience, class, students to look at. All right, so I've stopped sharing with the participant and I'm going to share as a teacher. So if you're not using your command or your shortcut command for your Zoom in your Mac, to share screen, it's Command Tab S, which looks like that graphic right up there. So now my windows pop up. I'm going to go with this Chrome browser. Now, obviously the big thing is desktop versus browser. I will always go browser. I've already set up a window which has my content kind of ready to go. And if not, things are linked off like one doc. I don't go with that desktop as a teacher because I might have something else in the background. I'll show what that looks like right now, which could be attendance, or I might need to look at an email. And obviously there's all sorts of GDPR sensitive things always on our computers as teachers. And I don't need to inadvertently share that on my screen with my class. So if I click on this, you'll see what it looks like now. You'll notice this green business around here, and we've talked about this one before. This is the only thing being shared. So if I need to open up another window in my Chrome, like this, I can do anything with this Chrome right here in window, attendance, email, whatever. My class continues to see just this. Okay. So this is what most of us will open our stuff up to, right? And then we come in and then we hit, full screen, which with your Google presentation is Command Enter. And now it does this, and it looks great, but then I might have a strange thing with my, my 15 kids over here, and I'm often having to move them around in this, but I still want to see them. And so the full screen works exceptionally well. Don't forget you can move this and these sorts of things as much as you need. Conversely, my option is, what I like to do with all of my GDPR non-sensitive presentations is I'll go to File, Publish to the Web. I always click on this 1 minute business, and then once I get that link, I save it, and now it's this. And I can minimize, or I could even maximize. I can make this window as small as I want, and it doesn't change the size or the quality of the presentation that my students are seeing. Now it gives me a lot more space for attendance, for my notes, for other things I'm looking at as I am conducting this presentation. As I said before, I'll open this one back up. Then what I like to do is I just, I'll bookmark that direct link, and that's what it is. But I will equally dump that link at the very top of my presentation. So if I open my presentation this way, and now I need to show it to my kids or whatever, I can just click on that, and there we go. So that will free up a lot of space on your screen for other things and make the content much easier. Now, we did Command Guion to go through multiple windows or documents within one program. So now I'm in Chrome, but I want to go back to Zoom. I can start clicking on stuff, which works, but sometimes you got layer upon layer and you start moving stuff around. It can get a bit kooky. Our other shortcut, which will help us with comfort and efficiency, is this Command tab on our Mac. It's also Option tab, Control tab. I'll put it up there for the PC as well in a second. So the command, if I keep that command button held down and go with my tab, I currently have open 4 programs on my Mac. And I'm going to go back to my Zoom. It's like, it's not the Zoom I want, but now I can do my Command Guion, and I'm back in my presentation, which is what this is right now. Good. So Command Tab, and if I have multiple windows open, I can do, which I'll do right now. It's opening up on my secondary monitor. And now I can go in between these Chrome tabs like this. Now, you are sharing all of your stuff. Like I said, I like to open up this window and have kind of stuff ready to go with my objectives. And now we're looking at this, and now we're looking at that. The other shortcut I'll show you real quick with this is within your one Chrome window, if you hit Command 1, it goes to the first tab, and the Command 2 goes to the second tab, and Command 4 and Command 5, and Command 9 will take you to the 9th one or the last one if you are like some people and have open like 85 tabs. So you can get up to Command 8, which is the 8th tab, or the last one, which for you, not all of you, could be the 86th tab. All right, so I'm back in the Zoom meeting real quick, and from a participant perspective, distance learning it's weird. Obviously, without a doubt, it's not the same, but there's this weird filter, and for some of you, in terms of having conversations with your teachers about engagement, and how can I participate when it's like this? There's all sorts of little things you can do which will help, right? For example, use these reactions. If somebody asks a decent question or your teacher really wants you to respond, you have these to give them some sort of response. Even if they don't say, use your reaction button, it's there. With your participants, you click on this one, drag mine back over. I don't have it because I'm the host, but you have this little blue hand down here, and I'm going to do it with this one. And now your teacher will see if they're not in, there we go, full screen, and you've gone someplace else. So there's another way you can do that. Equally, you can ask some pretty decent questions in this chat feature. If you don't ask the question, but you notice that there's a nice question, and sometimes your teacher's in full lecture mode, you can be the one to be like, I think there's a question in the chat, and they will appreciate that. They're not going to be upset that you called their attention to something which is integral to the class, right? So there's all sorts of small little things which will allow you to participate, we'll say, which are non-conventional, but they will help a lot of you in terms of, can I display that I'm actually here? Can I display that I'm keeping up with stuff and I'm, paying attention, engagement. All right, so some basic things here, some settings that once you tick, you don't have to worry about again. You can copy and paste those 2 or 3 shortcut commands and get those in your head, and it will make things much easier in terms of quickly going to stuff. And just play with it. Like you said, it's a level of comfort, and each person likes certain layouts and prefer other setups. But explore all the features that are there, and try to find your most comfortable level with your content within the window of the application in your screen, and therefore you'll be able to more readily teach and field questions and look at stuff and give feedback and not have to fumble through different layers of this and that. So as always, if you have any questions with this and want to book some time and we can work on this together, by all means, please let me know and I'll be happy to help. Thanks.